Hello and welcome to session 2. Today we are going to cover identification of butterflies to be found in the Yorkshire Dales. The Yorkshire Dales National Park was designated in 1954 in recognition for its extraordinary natural beauty, the diversity of its wildlife habitats, its rich cultural heritage and its fantastic opportunities for outdoor recreation. Covering 841 square miles, the varied landscape of the National Park is filled with many different habitats, from grassland and woodland to moorland and limestone pavement, all important for a wide variety of wildlife, including 34 of the UK's butterfly species. So let's have a run through these species and how you can tell some of the tricky ones apart. The small skipper's larval food plant is Yorkshire fog, which is a very common grass and grows on all soil types. The species can therefore be found in rough grassland habitats such as road verges, open woodland rides, meadows and field edges, and it's generally associated with open habitats. Usually seen June to September and is an orange-brown butterfly with a short moth-like body that rests in the characteristic skipper shape with forewings held up in a V shape and hind wings horizontal. You can tell males and females apart by the thin, black, slightly curving line on the upper forewings of the male. The small skipper can be confused with the large skipper as they can overlap in size. Large skippers have hooked antennae, which are diagnostic of large skipper, combined with the pattern of blotches or panes on their wings. They live in rough grassland habitats and tend to show preference for damp and more sheltered sites. Their larval food plants are tall grasses, particularly cocksfoot and purple boargrass, and adults often use bramble and thistles as nectar sources too. They're usually found between May and October. The dingy skipper is a small, fast-flying butterfly. It's got grey-brown wings with mottled brown markings and 2 rows of small white spots, though they can be variable and fade over time, hence the name. In dull weather and at night it perches on the tops of dead flower heads in a moth-like fashion, as you can see in the second picture, with wings curved in a position not seen in any other British butterfly, so it can be confused with day-flying moths. Dingy skippers are associated with chalk or limestone habitats such as quarries, chalk and limestone grasslands, dunes and undercliffs, and larvae and adults feed and nectar from bird's foot trefoil and horseshoe vetch, and they're usually seen between April and July. There are 2 species of yellow butterflies that can be found in the Yorkshire Dales, the clouded yellow and the brimstone. The clouded yellow is an irregular migrant from South Europe. It can be seen between June and October and has been found in every habitat, but tends to favour areas with lots of flowers. Its larval food plants are wild and cultivated clovers and bird's foot trefoil. Their distinctive feature is the figure of 8 spot on the lower wing. The males have solid black margins to all 4 upper wings, while females are similar but have yellow spots in the margins. The brimstone butterfly ranges widely and can often be seen flying along roadside verges and hedgerows, as well as scrubby grassland and woodland from February to October. The larvae feed on leaves of buckthorn. Males are distinctively citrus yellow and females are much paler. They have a small single yellowish eye spot on each side of each wing, and they're remarkably leaf-like with wing veins and leaf-like wing points. Large white is a common butterfly found in a variety of habitats, particularly gardens and allotments where cabbages are grown. The larvae feed on wild or cultivated species of cruciferous plants. Adults nectar on many flowers and are particularly attracted to buddleia. Can be seen from April to October. Wingtips are the most diagnostic feature. The brilliant white wings have black tips to the forewings that extends down the outer wing edge. Females have 2 spots on the forewings, which is not present in males. The undersides are a creamy white. Small whites have a small black wingtip, usually a flattish bottomed blotchy patch, often greyish, and has 1 or 2 wing spots, female 2 and male 1. It's a common and widespread butterfly found in most habitats, feeding on cabbage, charlock, hedge mustard and garlic mustard. Can be seen from April to September. Green-veined whites are easily confused with other whites when in flight or without seeing the underside of their wings. Closed wing view is distinctive with green-grey veins. Veins can sometimes be visible on the upper wings. Look for them extending as points from wingtips. Although widespread, the species is localised by a need for damp and humid areas such as marshes, bogs, lush ditches and damp meadows, as well as sheltered woodland edges. Main food plants are lady smock, also known as cuckoo flower, garlic mustard, hedge mustard and watercress, usually seen between April and August in Yorkshire. Orange tips prefer damp habitats such as meadows, woodland glades, hedgerows and the banks of streams and rivers, but they do readily visit gardens, usually seen April to June. They also use cuckoo flower and garlic mustard, as well as honesty and rocket in gardens. Males are very distinctive, with bright orange upper wingtips, and in females note the white spots on the black wingtip edge to tell them apart from other whites. Both sexes show a mottled green pattern in closed wing view. So let's just have a little recap on how you can tell these white butterflies apart. Is the wing plain, streaked or blotchy? If it's plain, it's small or large white. Streaked is green veined white and blotchy is orange tip. Then to help distinguish between small white and large white, look at the upper wing tip. A prominent black mark extending along the outer edge of the wing means large white. Less striking, often greyish mark that doesn't extend far along the outer edge is small white. The marbled white is a fairly localised, currently expanding species. As you can see from the map, there isn't many records in the Dales, but their range may well increase. Usually seen June to August and mainly associated with flower-rich chalk and limestone grasslands. It's a very distinctive black butterfly with white spots, unlikely to be confused with any other species. The green hairstreak is found April to mid-June in upland moorland areas, woodland rides and clearings. It can also be found in bogs, old quarries and rough scrubby grassland. Food plants are common rock rose, birdsfoot trefoil and a number of scrub species including gorse and bilberry. The green hairstreak holds its wings closed except in flight, showing only the green underside with its faint white streak. They have tailed hind wings and the upper side of the wings are brown. The purple hairstreak is seen July to September, wherever there are oak trees, and even a solitary tree may support a colony. Adults remain largely in the canopy where the main adult food source is honeydew. It has silvery grey underwings and dark, almost black upper wings, which have an overall purple sheen in the male and purple patches on the female. Closed wings show a jagged white line top to bottom with two orange spots, one with a black centre which is close to a small hindwing tail. White letter hairstreak, seen June to mid-August, flies around the tops of elm trees and can be found even on a single large elm tree. Occasionally comes down to ground level to nectar on flowers such as privet and bramble. At rest it keeps wings closed, showing dusky brown with a thin white zigzagging line in the shape of a W, which is how the species gets its name. There is a distinct white-tipped tail on the hind wings. This is longer in the females than the male, but they can break away as the butterfly becomes warm. The edge of the hind wing shows a row of orange crescents that form a short wavy band. The small copper can be seen from April to October. Males are territorial, often choosing a piece of bare ground or a stone to bask on and await passing females, and they behave aggressively towards any passing insects. They're bright copper coloured with black spots and margins, and they occur in a wide variety of habitats including chalk or unimproved grassland, heathland, woodland clearings, waste ground and moorland. They favour warm, dry conditions, and the larval plants include common sorrel, sheep sorrel and broad-leaved dock. The red admiral is an annual immigrant from North Africa and continental Europe and does occasionally winter in the UK. Sightings can occur any month of the year, but in Yorkshire mainly May to October. Bold poster red admiral stripes down the upper wings giving it its name. Can be found in all habitat types across the UK, and the most important larval food plant is the common nettle. Adults do nectar on a wide variety of flowers, particularly garden species such as buddleia. The peacock butterfly is a hibernating resident, therefore seen all year round. The eye spot pattern evolved to startle or confuse predators. Undersides of the wings are very dark and look like dead leaves. Peacocks range widely through the countryside, often in the shelter of woodland clearings, rides and edges. Larval food plant is common nettle, but they do also visit garden buddleia. The small tortoiseshell is one of our most widespread species, richly patterned in orange and yellow and edged with blue lunules. The underside is well camouflaged, but if threatened they flick their upper wings up to reveal an eye-like marking to startle the predator. It's one of the first butterflies to be seen in spring, and in the autumn often visits garden flowers in large numbers. Larval food plant is common nettle. The painted lady causes one of the most spectacular butterfly migrations observed in the UK. Each year it spreads northwards from the desert fringes of North Africa, the Middle East and Central Asia, recolonising mainland Europe and reaching the UK. A wide range of food plants may be used, with thistles being preferred in Britain and Ireland, as well as mallows and common nettle. They like dry, open areas but can be seen anywhere in a good year. Usually seen between May and October, with peak numbers in July and September. The comma's scalloped edges and cryptic colouring of the wings conceal hibernating adults amongst dead leaves. The species has a flexible life cycle which allows it to capitalise on favourable weather conditions. The most widely used food plant is common nettle. Open woodland and wood edges are the main breeding and hibernating habitats. Prior to hibernation, individuals range more widely in the search for nectar and rotting fruit and are often seen in gardens and many other habitats. Small pearl-bordered fritillary is a scarce resident of high regional conservation priority. Adults fly June to July. It uses mires, damp grassland and rush pasture, grassland with bracken or scrub, and woodland edges with open glades where larval food plants, common dog violet and marsh violet occur. The adults fly close to the ground, stopping frequently to take nectar from flowers such as brambles and thistles. It can be identified from the more numerous whitish pearls on the underside hindwings, the outer ones bordered by black chevrons, and from the larger black central dot. Dark green fritillary occurs in a range of flower-rich grasslands, often with patches of scrub, including coastal grassland, moorland and wet flushes, and woodland rides and clearings. The larval food plants are common dog violet, hairy violet and marsh violet, and it flies from June to the end of August. The closed wing view is diagnostic, with the hind wing having large silver-white spots on a predominantly olive-green coloured wing. Holly blue is a garden visitor, also seen in hedgerows and woodland rides. Larvae feed predominantly on the flower buds, berries and terminal leaves of holly in the spring generation, April to June, and ivy in the summer generation, July to September. They also use a wide range of other wild and garden plants, including spindle and bramble. Wings are bright blue. Females have black wing edges and undersides are pale blue with small black spots which distinguish them from the common blue. The common blue is the most widespread blue butterfly in the UK and is found in a variety of grassy habitats, with common bird's-foot trefoil, which is the main food plant, as well as black medic and white clover, and it's seen from May to October. The upper side on a male is violet blue, and the female has orange lunules or brown blue-brown wings. Undersides of both sexes are similar, with patterns of black and white spots with orange lunules, and female common blues can be confused with northern brown argus and brown argus. The northern brown argus butterfly is very small, with a wingspan of 22 to 31 millimetres. It has a silvery appearance as it flies low to the ground, usually seen June to August. The pattern of upper wing spots is highly variable. In northern England, this spot is generally dark brown or black. The butterfly occurs mainly in small scattered colonies and has declined in northern England. It's therefore high priority for the regional conservation strategy. The northern brown argus is dependent on larval food plant common rock rose, associated with chalk and limestone habitats, particularly well-drained, lightly grazed or ungrazed unimproved grasslands. They prefer sheltered habitats, frequently with scrub and patches of bare ground such as sand dunes, quarries, coastal valleys and steep slopes. In the Yorkshire Dales, the butterfly is often found among limestone pavement habitats. Unfortunately, I don't have an up-to-date distribution map to share with you for the Dales, but brown argus are beginning to encroach into the Dales. It's very tricky when distinguishing between northern brown argus, and they can hybridise. Taking any images and details of the habitat and location it was seen in, or plant species it was seen on, can all be helpful when reporting records, because it allows Vice County recorders to make a judgment of which species it may be. Habitat can be a clue, as the brown argus can use other plant species and habitats than northern brown argus. Brown argus use common rock rose on limestone areas, which is when it's most tricky, but dove's foot cranesbill and other geranium species can be used on non-limestone soils, so the location of your findings can be helpful in distinguishing between the two. Scotch argus is rare in northern England, restricted to 2 sites that contain a mosaic of sheltered limestone grassland, scrub and woodland, though it has appeared in a few former locations in the Yorkshire Dales recently as a result of reintroductions. The butterfly is found only in tall grasslands that are lightly grazed or ungrazed. The eggs are attached singly to grass blades and stems of blue moor grass, both in Cumbria and Yorkshire. It's seen July to September and looks similar to meadow brown, however Scotch Argus is darker with more spots on the upper wing and a figure of 8 eye spot on the forewing in closed wing view. Meadow brown is one of our most widespread species, but many colonies have been lost due to agricultural intensification. It's found anywhere with patches of rough or uncut grassland up to 50 centimetres in height. A wide range of grasses are used. Those with finer leaves such as fescues, bents and meadow grasses are preferred, but some coarser species such as cocksfoot are also eaten by larger larvae, and it can be seen from the end of May to mid-September. It's a medium to large brown butterfly. We're usually with a single black eye spot on each forewing, often containing a single white dot. It can be confused with the gatekeeper, which has 2 white dots. As its English name suggests, the gatekeeper, also known as the hedge brown, is often encountered where clumps of tall flowers and grasses grow, in gateways, along hedgerows and field edges, as well as woodland rides. The butterfly can also occur in habitats such as undercliffs, heathland and downland where there are patches of scrub. Upper wings are strongly orange, however the colour and patterning of the wings are very variable. Note 2 white dots in the black eye spot when comparing to the meadow brown, which only has 1 white dot. Favourite nectar sources include wild marjoram, ragworts and bramble, and various grasses are used by the larvae, with a preference to fine grasses such as bents and fescues, and it's seen June to September. The wall is named after its habit of basking on walls, rocks and stony places. It tends to be seen more in the southern half of the Dales and can be seen from April to October. It's a similar size and colour to the gatekeeper, but the wall is much more heavily patterned. Uses various grasses, favouring short open grassland where turf is broken or stony. It's also found on dunes and other coastal habitats, as well as disused quarries, derelict land, farm tracks, railway embankments, gardens and field edges. The speckled wood is a medium-sized chocolate brown butterfly with pale yellow or cream blotches and a few eye spots on the wing edges. It's seen April to October in woodlands, gardens and hedgerows. Butterflies often perch in sunny spots, spiralling into the air to chase each other. Both sexes feed on honeydew in the treetops and lay eggs on grasses, particularly false brome, cocksfoot, Yorkshire fog and common couch. When newly emerged, the ringlet has a velvety appearance and it's almost black with a white fringe to the wings. The small circles on the underwings, which give the butterfly its name, vary in number, size and appearance. It's found in woodland rides and glades and damp grassland where grasses are lush and tall. It likes damper habitats with partial shade. The butterfly also occurs on commons, verges and riverbanks and especially on clay soils. Coarser grasses are used by the larvae, including cocksfoot and false brome, and bramble and wild privet flowers are the preferred nectar sources. They're usually seen June to September. The grayling's a very rare localised resident, mainly found around the UK coastline, but inland colonies are found on dry heathland, chalk grassland, old quarries, derelict industrial sites such as old spoil heaps, and very occasionally in open woodland on stony ground. It's declining in many areas, particularly inland. The grayling has excellent camouflage, making it difficult to see when at rest on bare ground, tree trunks or stones. The wings are kept closed when not in flight, and the forewings are usually tucked behind the hindwings, concealing the eye spots and making the butterfly appear smaller. In flight, this pale band and eye spot is visible and distinctive. Larval plants include a range of grasses, main species being sheep's fescue, red's fescue, and early hairgrass, and it's usually seen July to August. The small heath's wings are always kept closed when at rest. The underside of the forewing has an eye spot at the tip. Hind wing is banded with brown, grey and cream, and orange upper wings only seen in flight. Occurs on grassland where there are fine grasses, especially in dry, well-drained situations where the sward is short and sparse. Larval food plants are fine grasses, especially fescues and bents, and typical habitats include heathland, downland and coastal dunes, but it's also found on road verges, moorland and in woodland rides, and can be seen from May to September. Though large and small heath look similar, they can usually be separated by habitat. The large heath butterfly has declined seriously in England and Wales, with very few records in the Dales. It is restricted to wet boggy habitats where the food plant grows, This includes habitats such as lowland raised bogs, upland blanket bogs and damp acidic moorland. Sites are usually below 500 metres and have a base of sphagnum moss interspersed with the larval food plants hare's tail cottongrass, as well as common cottongrass and jointed rush. The adults sit with their wings closed and the size of the underwing spots can vary, seen July to August. Recording and monitoring carried out by volunteers is vital for the conservation of butterflies and moths, and there's tons of ways that you can get involved. Sightings of any butterflies that you happen to see can be submitted on a computer using Butterflies for the New Millennium online or on your smartphone using the iRecord Butterflies app. Use whichever suits you best, either way the records get to butterfly conservation. If you can record regularly in your garden throughout the year, you can take part in the Garden Butterfly Survey. This is only for garden sightings because it aims to monitor how butterflies are faring in UK gardens. And although there's no specific rules about how long to spend watching the butterflies, you should be committed to recording throughout the year. Or you can walk a transect. A transect is a fixed route. It's a weekly walk, typically 2 to 4 kilometres, lasting about 30 to 90 minutes, and they're divided into sections corresponding to different habitat or management units. Volunteers record butterflies in a 5-metre band. I describe it as an imaginary 5-metre box that you carry with you and only count what enters into that box. You walk the transect in suitable weather once a week for 26 weeks. Transects are usually shared by a number of volunteers who live nearby, so the effort is shared between them. If any weeks are missed, the online programme UK Butterfly Monitoring Scheme can estimate values from other counts. The weekly monitoring allows us to calculate the changes in butterfly populations and produce site-level trends. Single species transects follows the same methodology but focuses on a single or small number of species throughout their flight period, and this reduces both the time required to walk each transect and, more significantly, the number of weekly counts. And it usually targets habitat specialists such as northern brown argus. For a number of habitat specialist species, other reduced effort methods are used to monitor annual abundance, especially in more remote parts of the UK. These include adult timed counts, larval web counts and egg counts. For these methods, systematic recording is made on single days in suitable weather. The counts are converted to a site index that accounts for both the size of the colony and the time in the season when the count was made. There's lots of different surveys and projects going on across the region, so if you wish to know more about how you can get involved, visit the Butterfly Conservation Yorkshire branch website.